Do you feel that you're in a negative timeline? Maybe you're experiencing a string of bad luck, or maybe there is a specific area of your life that always ends up going badly no matter how hard you try. And you don't know how to escape this, but you wish there was a way that you switch timelines and you move to a more positive timeline, to a version of reality where things go well for you. In this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly how to escape a negative reality and switch to a positive timeline of your choice. What's up, superheroes? Welcome back to my channel, the place where we make the impossible possible. If you're new here, hi, I'm Scarlett Grace, I'm a manifestation coach, and I help people break through their limitations and manifest their heart's desires. In this video, I want to talk to you about how to escape a negative timeline that you're in. This is actually pretty easy to do if you know how. But before we jump into this, if you want to learn how to manifest any desire fast with the law of assumption and Neville Goddard's teachings, then start now by hitting the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you won't miss any video that could change your life. I also have several self-study courses to help you manifest, including a 21-day course on how to manifest your specific person. And if you need some extra help or my personal advice for your situation, coaching is open. You can find the links for all of those things in the description below. The reason you're experiencing a negative timeline right now is because on some level you chose that reality. And I know if you're in a bad situation right now, you're probably thinking, no, I didn't. I never asked for this. I never asked for this negative thing to happen in my life. I never asked for a dead-end job. I never asked to have no money. I never asked for this difficulty. I never asked for people that don't understand me, or whatever the problem is in your life right now. But here's the thing. We don't just choose consciously what reality we want to experience. Every day, we switch through millions of parallel realities. So many people think that switching realities is something difficult, something that takes a lot of time, something unnatural, something that you need to learn how to do because it's this secret technology that you don't possess. But that's not true. The truth is, we switch realities millions of times every day. It's very easy to switch realities. The reason we don't realize this, the reason we feel trapped, is because we don't realize that we keep making the same choices, choosing the same reality over and over and over in our minds. And the reason we don't realize this is because most of this choice is subconscious. It's not conscious. In other words, it's not based on what you want to experience, but it's based on how you interpret the world around you, what you believe about the world, what you think is true and real. Every time you get to a conclusion, either consciously or subconsciously, about anything in your life, that puts you on a specific timeline. Let me give you an example so that you can see how easy it is to switch realities, how we do it millions of times per day, but we just don't realize it, and that makes us feel trapped in a negative reality when in fact we're not trapped at all. We switch back and forth between realities all the time. So let's say that your problem in this specific reality, the reason you feel it's so negative, is your financial situation. You just never have enough money. You have a lot of debt, you try to make more money, but every time you make money, somehow more debt piles up, or some emergency crops up, or something like that. And you keep trying to take different actions to fix this, but it never works, and you feel trapped in this reality. So here's how it works. You wake up today and you feel positive and you at some point think, I bet if I tried this, I could make more money. At the moment you think like that, you switch realities. Now, when you switch realities like that, the change may be tiny, so you don't notice that anything has changed. The change is so subtle, the two realities are so close together, that it looks like you're still in the same reality, but you're not. The reason you don't see that you switch realities is because you don't stick with this new thought long enough. So if you decided to spend the whole day feeling good about this new idea that you had, that maybe if I try this, I'm going to make more money. And if you live in your imagination, those scenarios where, okay, yeah, I can see how I would love this job, and I bet my colleagues would be great. And what if I get promoted in a few months? This puts you in a reality that's way more positive than the previous reality you're in. You just have to stick with a new way of thinking. But what we usually do is we have this idea of maybe I can change this and I will make more money. And then your subconscious mind comes to you and says inside your own head something along the lines of, yeah, right. That will work because all the previous things you tried work so freaking well that you're sure that this is going to make you more money. Keep dreaming. Now, at that moment, you have a choice. You have the choice whether you're going to stick with your original way of thinking, the thinking that said, hey, if I pursue this, maybe I will make more money. And start conjuring up those images of you with more money and believe that it's possible for you to have more money. Or you can listen to the voice of your subconscious that says this is not possible. The choice you make at that moment determines what reality you're going to experience. The problem is that because of our programming, when we start having thoughts like what your subconscious just said, discouraging thoughts that are telling you that this is not possible for you, we tend to believe those thoughts. And the moment you decide that, yeah, right, that was stupid of me to think that I could just do this and make more money, you switch back to the old reality, the negative one. And because you didn't even stay long enough in the better reality to realize that you're in a different reality, in a more positive reality, from your perspective, it feels that you're trapped in this reality and you can never escape it. But it's not true. You switched realities and you immediately switched back to the negative reality once again. The part that we need to refine for you to actually experience the reality that you want to be in is the part where you get to stay in the new reality instead of switching back to the negative reality all the time. And here's how to do this. The first thing that you need to do if you want to permanently escape a negative reality is you need to stop seeing your current reality as negative. And yeah, I know that it feels negative to you, but here's the thing. Things are not positive or negative. Things just are. It is our interpretation that makes things positive or negative. And the more emotionally invested you are in your current reality, the more you will stay stuck there. The way manifestation happens is through your attention and your emotions. If you put your attention on something and you have feelings about that something, it doesn't matter if they're negative or positive, but if you put your attention on something and you have feelings about something, especially strong feelings, this thing is what you will keep getting in your reality. Doesn't matter if you love it or hate it, if you have feelings about it, you're going to keep getting it, keep experiencing it. You're going to keep going back to the reality where that thing is your life. This is why the more you look at your current reality and keep obsessing over how negative it is and feeling really badly about it, the more difficult it feels for you to escape that reality. That's how manifestation works. You focus on something, you feel strong feelings about it, bam, it happens. You're transferred to that reality. So if you want to escape this current reality, the first thing that you need to get is that it's not as negative as you think. It's just one reality out of millions. There's nothing special about it. It's not especially bad. It's not special in any way. It's just one out of millions of possibilities. And you're experiencing it right now, but that doesn't mean anything. So just take a step back and see how it's not as terrible as you think. There are good things in this reality. You don't have to keep all the bad ones, but it's not so terrible. And we're doing this so that you stop having as strong negative emotions about this reality as you have had up until now. If you manage to see this reality as neutral, as not a big deal, okay, I don't like it, but it's not a big deal, I will just move to a different reality. That means that you don't have strong negative emotions associated with this reality. And when you don't have strong negative emotions, that means that you're not essentially trapping yourself into this loop where you keep going back to this reality over and over because your attention and your emotions are focused on it. The second thing that keeps you in this negative reality is the story you have about yourself and about reality. And this is connected both to the story you tell yourself and your beliefs. So here's how this works. As I already said, you keep switching between realities. So there's nothing keeping you in this reality other than yourself, other than how you interpret the world. How it works is basically every morning that you wake up, you have a chance to experience a completely different reality. But you don't do that because we all operate as if we have some contract with reality that whatever was the thing yesterday, however your life was yesterday or last year, 10 years ago, or however you grew up, needs to happen right now. So if, for example, up until yesterday, you weren't very popular, it's like we have a contract with reality that says, You cannot be popular today because you weren't popular yesterday. You cannot start making more money today because you haven't ever made enough money up until yesterday. You cannot be loved and happy in your romantic relationships starting today because up until yesterday you were never happy. But that's not true. We haven't signed a contract with reality that whatever was happening up until now needs to be our lives from now on. Every day, every moment actually, you get to decide what life you want to experience, and what happened in the past is not at all relevant. You are the only person making it relevant because you decide that what happened yesterday, what happened last month, what happened 10 years ago, what happened when you were in school, what happened during your childhood needs to determine the rest of your life. It does not. You can decide today to be a completely different person. You can just make the decision. You can decide that you're a person who has super good luck when it comes to picking romantic partners. You can decide that you're a person who is a money magnet. You can just decide that this is who you're going to be from now on. If you make the decision and you don't switch back to your old way of thinking, eventually you will become that person and you will stop switching to any negative reality around that issue. The problem is that we never stick long enough with our new decision. The reason it doesn't fully happen instantly in most cases is because the reality that you felt was negative is pretty far away from the reality you want to be on. So you have to pass from multiple different in-between realities, and that can take some time. But the thing is, the more you stay strong in your new assumption that, hey, doesn't matter what happened in the past, starting right now, I'm a money magnet, and that's the only reality I know. I'm not going to focus on anything else. My focus is fully on me being a money magnet. I'm not going to rehash old stories from the past about how I never had enough money. It doesn't matter anymore. My focus and my emotions are fully on how happy I am that I'm a money magnet now. Nothing else is relevant, only this. If you stick with this, you will find yourself in the reality where this is absolutely true pretty fast. And the reason for this is because you will not keep going backwards and forwards all the time. Whereas if you allow the thoughts about what happened in the past to play in your mind and wake up your emotions and feel negative about it, what you do is you switch a few realities closer to the old negative reality. Then you remember that, hey, I decided to be a money magnet. You feel a little better. You move to a more positive reality, but then you feel bad again because you keep playing this old story in your mind about what happened last month or last year or during your childhood. And you keep going back and forth. That's why it takes a long time to get to the end result, to the end reality that you want. Or you never manage to get there because you keep going back and forth. Listen, what happened in your past is not relevant to what is going to happen from now on. Only what you decide to put your focus on decides and determines which reality you're going to experience. Your past is not keeping you chained to a negative reality. Only you focusing on that past and feeling bad about it and thinking that it controls your life makes it so. Nothing else. You have all the power. When you play an old story, an old memory, and decide that this is ruining your life now, it's like you watched a movie that you didn't like 10 years ago on TV, and you keep thinking back to it every single day and allowing it to ruin your day. How is it relevant? It was a movie on TV and it was 10 years ago. If it wasn't a good movie, most people have probably forgotten that movie existed. You're the only one focusing on that movie over and over, and you're the one making yourself miserable by focusing on what a crappy movie that was. It's not 10 years ago, it's right now. You don't have to think about something that you didn't like 10 years ago. Or if you went to a restaurant 2 months ago and you got a burger and you hated that burger, because it wasn't made the way you like burgers to be made, would you keep bringing that up every time you sat down to have a meal and allow it to ruin your meal and make you feel bad about what you're eating right now? No, you would just never go back to that restaurant. That's what you need to do in order to permanently escape the reality that you don't like. Stop playing all those movies in your mind about how things happened in the past and deciding that this means this is how they're going to go from now on. They are not relevant. They're not happening right now. And any circumstances that may be happening right now that resemble what happened back then, they only manifested because you kept playing that video in your mind about what happened back then. Stop playing the video, poof, the circumstances that you don't like just disappear from your reality because you switch timelines. The third thing that you need to realize to permanently escape a negative reality is that you hold all the power. Nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody and nothing, decides what reality you're going to experience. You're the only one who makes that choice. You cannot look at external circumstances and decide that this thing is the reason you cannot experience the reality you want, because the thing is not the reason. You decided that this thing is the reason you don't get to experience the happy life you want. The thing itself is powerless. It has zero power. You're the one giving it the power. You don't need to change the whole planet and everybody's way of thinking for you to get what you want. You don't even need to know how you're going to get from where you are right now to where you have the thing you want. If you want more money, you don't need to have a plan for how to make that money. All you need to do is decide that I'm a money magnet. Money is easy for me. Feel good about money. Feel that you already have money. And the physical steps that you may need to take for that to manifest will come in your path automatically. You will not have to sit down and brainstorm. If you need to do something to make that happen, it will be put in your path and you will recognize it for what it is. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon, because I put out new videos every Sunday to help you manifest an amazing life.